someone who is always concerned about having enough food for everyone when I'm entertaining. Maybe it's the Italian in me, but I always want an abundance and would much rather have a lot of leftovers than to run short on food for any of my guests. It's kind of a running joke with my husband. We have the same argument before every event we host about whether or not we'll have enough. And he always reminds me when I'm collecting the leftovers that he was right. I realize that in some way, I want them to know how much I treasure them, and I want to show them abundantly. This is what Jesus does here. The crowds are following him. They are drawn to the miraculous healings and the new way of thinking about God. He wants them to know and experience the God of plenty, the God that is love, and how love multiplies. He demonstrates that there is more than enough for everyone when we all move from the center of love, compassion, and generosity. Feeding people has always been a sign of love, hospitality, tending to the basic human need of sustenance. Just ask our beloved kitchen staff here at Ignatius House. They truly love the guests here through their food and abundance. There is nothing worse for them than running out of food. I love that our God has tried to communicate God's love by providing us with food, becoming food for our souls. From manna in the desert to feeding thousands who are hungry in more than one gospel story. Feeding thousands on the word and physically nourishing the body by multiplying loaves and fishes. A number like 5,000 is hard to even wrap your head around in a scene like today's gospel, where there are 5,000 people, not including men and women and children, including women and children, therefore probably more than double, sitting all around to hear Jesus. And where will they find the food to feed them? Would there even be enough to buy locally in local markets around there? The crowds have gathered, and the gospel writer tells us, because they saw the signs that he was doing for the sick, miracles, the impossible happening, blind men seeing, the deaf hear, the lame walk. And here, he seems to want to show his disciples something significant about the power of love. Testing them, he knows full well there isn't enough money or even opportunity to purchase food for these thousands. All that presents itself is a small boy with just 2 fish and 5 loaves, which become enough for over 5,000 with leftovers. Bread and fish seems to materialize from these baskets that Jesus continues to pass out. And while that is fantastical, seemingly supernatural miracle, there is another lens by which we might look at this miracle. Could it be that Jesus wants us to see that there is plenty when we are motivated out of compassion and love for one another? Certainly he wants them, us, to know simply that there is plenty for all when it comes from the love of God. Perhaps the miracle that is witnessed is that of love begetting love, generosity begetting generosity. Many who have traveled to listen to Jesus most likely traveled with some provisions, perhaps just enough for themselves. So when they all finally sit down and the little boy shares with Jesus his 2 fish and 5 loaves, Jesus blesses and thanks God for the food, and then the miracle happens. Everyone begins to eat and to share whatever they have with those around them. And what they discover in the end, that there is more than enough among them all to feed all who are hungry. So much, in fact, that there was an abundance of leftovers. Plenty, plenty for all. Come to the feast of heaven and earth. Come to the table of plenty. God will provide for all that we need here at the table of plenty. Remember that hymn? The table of plenty. Feeding, nourishing, caring for one another is at the heart of Jesus' ministry. As God incarnate, he is trying to convey who God is, a God that is love, compassion, generosity. God wants to feed us, to love us, so much so that he becomes the food itself for us. So when we listen to Dorothy Day and her beautiful reflection that after 14 years of feeding brothers and sisters and sheltering them, it is love that compels them. When you surrender and give yourself to love, all that it can produce is more love. No matter how small an act of love, no matter how small a gift of food, it multiplies. It's that wonderful ripple effect of generosity. Generosity begets generosity. Not too long ago, I reflected on a story of an experiment where people were given $10,000 and told to do whatever they wanted with that money and then report back. And more than 2/3 of the people chose to give it away, and it multiplied the joy exponentially. We really can change the world. We can throw our pebble in the pond and be confident that its ever widening circle will reach around the world. Let us today feed one another with love and let that multiply